some guys were asking about potentially enlisting in the IDF. What's my opinion? Now, I support anybody who enlists. When I was involved with the yeshiva, which was half Hesder, gave the guys the option. That's unique. And I said, yeah, because first of all, we need a Jewish army. But on the other hand, we don't need everybody to be in that army, thank God. Technically speaking, if it were a real milchemes mitzvah, so every grown man would have to potentially be drafted. But it doesn't mean everybody has to fight. Kal v'chomer now, yes, maybe we are in a state of milchemes mitzvah, but it's patently clear that we don't need every single man aged 20 to 60 to take up arms and go to the battlefield. Technology is different, tactics are different. It's just not the case. But another issue is what are they going to make you do in the army? First of all, thank God if there's not a lot of hostility, there's a lot of waste. There's some guys who the army has nothing to do with them, or they have nothing to do for the army. They have nothing that the army could do for them. It's pointless to draft everybody. There's also the problem of the drafting the girls, like we've mentioned a few times. There's no reason why there should be any females involved in the army. Sometimes it creates nisyonos that just should not be. There's too much waste. And the worst possible case is that they'll misuse their soldiers. When it actually comes time to use force and use violence against the enemy of Jewish people, perhaps they tell good Jewish soldiers to put themselves more at risk of death in order to take away the risk from the enemy, if you're dealing with enemy civilians, which is fundamentally wrong. And that's something that should not be. And also, they give you sometimes orders that are just plain against the Torah, which puts someone in a terrible ethical and moral position. The conflict is too great, and it's not for everybody. So my blessing is to students, potential students, current students, previous students, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for enlisting. Have 100% our support if you did it right. And my blessing to everybody in the future is hopefully you should not have to enlist. There's no reason. And that's also my own hope for my own sons, that they would also be aware of this. They shouldn't just join because, IDF, let's go. I did not serve. They did not need me at the time. They, thank God, do not need, maybe there's what you can contribute some other way. It's good to serve your country. Doesn't mean you should blindly follow everything that the country does. Certainly not anything that politicians say. Politicians are the worst people on earth. The only difference between politicians and, let's say, criminals in prison is that the criminals have been caught and put in prison. So, like we have also elections are coming up. We should remind ourselves, these politicians do not represent us. We are not in favor of any particular politician because they're all no good. If you have someone like, yes, I'm 100% behind candidate Plony in America, then you have a problem. Normally, your choice basically comes down to, in elections, the lesser of many evils. Sometimes in America, it's binary, lesser of two evils. Here in Israel, it's the lesser of multiple evils. And it's just trying to be, it's basically a pragmatic decision all the time. And it's not because we are ideologically behind anybody, whether it's a Haredi party, a Zionist party, a leftist party. At least the leftists and the so-called Arab parties are very clear on what they want to do. It's the wolves in sheep's clothing that are the biggest problem. Okay, so bottom line, should you enlist? I guess if they need you and if it's good for you and you know what to do right and you're not going to let them tell you to do the wrong thing, then go right ahead and thank you. And if not, don't worry about it. It's okay to stay in yeshiva and learn a little bit. They don't need you.
We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. If you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.